it's just a reminder for us, I think, for next year that we're only getting started. And I think we have a lot more to come and a lot more to bring to the table. And we're just going to keep getting better and better and hopefully be right on this field one day.
I believe I can't trust nobody, cause they might just set me up. Little shorty was looking crazy when she pulled up in that truck. That had on that mask, I was looking like what the fuck. And shorty, she pressed the gas, and then that pulled up. He said, give me all your chains, or this might turn to a problem. Gotta watch them boys from a range, cause you know them watching. I got tattoos in my veins, I bleed this heart throbbing. I done been through so much pain, try to stop me, but I'm not stopping. I done been through all the basics, ran through the rap game like A6. Try to change me, but I'm not changing. I'm working to be the greatest. I'm swerving up in the latest. She wanna have my little baby, only do that with my little baby. These acting too crazy, living a good life, getting lit with my friends. Pulling up on
Great
top
job
of
by Kris Bubic. First to third, nobody out, strikes out the next three.
What's up, everybody? This is Kris Bubic here with the Kansas City Royals. I'm here at Moreland Little League, where it all started for me, and this is my story. Growing up, for me, it was all about sports. Anything with the ball, I was pretty much doing. Baseball, basketball, and soccer. My family was supportive of all that, and really allowed me to excel in all of them. Baseball stood out to me, just because I think I went to a lot of Giants and A's games growing up, being from around here, and really allowed myself to flourish in that regard. And I have an older sister, Bianca. She's in medical school as we speak. She grew up also playing sports and was a dancer as well, ballet, tap dance, and all the above. So we're both really competitive, and we really drove each other to be the best that we could in each that we did. Yeah, baseball I knew was the one, probably when I got to Little League, when I was about 10, 11, 12 years old. I had an interest in pitching, and I hit as well, believe it or not. But I knew I was good and I could compete with the other kids from other leagues. Played on a travel ball team to where I could hold my own as well. So I knew that if I put in the time and put in the work, that baseball could allow me to go far. For me, choosing Mitty was a pretty clear choice. My sister had attended Mitty. She was graduating her senior year when I was graduating 8th grade, and I knew it was going to be an easy transition for me going there, and I wanted to go to a competitive environment, both academically and athletically. So her being there kind of allowed me to understand what Mitty was like. That way I knew what to expect when I was going there. When I got to Mitty, same thing, a lot of sports. Wanted to try out football, so played freshman football and played football all 4 years. Played basketball my freshman year as well, and then played baseball for all 4 years as well. For me, I kind of knew baseball was going to be my thing when I got to sophomore year. I was fortunate enough to make the varsity team, and then finally broke out my junior year, had a good year, some success on the field, and was fortunate enough to be invited to the area code games down in Long Beach. And from there I knew that if I put in the time, put in the work, put in the effort, that I could potentially play at the next level. So I knew I wanted to play baseball at the next level. Playing for CCB, California Club Baseball, Eric Grace really helped me establish kind of a foundation of what to expect at the next level, in addition to Bill Hutton, my high school coach as well, and they really laid out the foundation for what to expect at the next level and the effort it was going to take to be able to compete and play at the next level. So for me, I actually reached out to a bunch of the Pac-12 schools myself via email, because I knew, being on the West Coast, that was kind of the target I had. I didn't really have a specific school in mind, but one of the schools I did reach out to obviously was Stanford, and at the time they were going through a little coaching transition on the assistant coaching side, and then one of their assistant coaches, Ryan Garco, had a little time in the bigs, and he came and watched me at an event I was at with CCB down in Arizona, liked what he saw, came and watched me one more time, and after that I knew it wasn't going to be on the table forever, so an opportunity like that I couldn't pass up, and that's when I committed to Stanford. Stanford just because unmatched combination of academics and athletics. If you want to be the best, you got to surround yourself with the best, and that's a place that strives for excellence in everything they do. So when I got to Stanford, obviously coming off high school, a high note, you get to a school like that, you're kind of at the bottom of the totem pole a little bit. Course load was definitely a little different. Loaded up my freshman fall to the point where I was having full school days, full baseball days, and all wrapped into one. So it was definitely tough. It was definitely a grind. But as I went along, got a good routine, and my freshman year on the baseball side was filled with ups and downs. First ever appearance was I got a save at UC Davis in a midweek game, and then 3 days later I was starting on the road at Texas. So that was pretty crazy to soak in. I was pretty nervous when I went out there, but did pretty well. Earned another start the next week against Vanderbilt, and did well, and then kind of was bouncing back and forth between the rotation and the bullpen kind of the whole year. But for me, it was a big learning experience being thrown in the fire right away, getting to experience the ups and the downs against competition that I had never seen before. Was really huge, and I knew I had to make some adjustments going forward. So going into sophomore year, was fortunate enough to be named the opening day starter, and we were down at Fullerton, and that was kind of the game that I would say that put me on the map. Did really well. It was the hardest I've ever thrown, the best I've ever thrown, and it really kind of set the tone for my whole sophomore year, and that led me to be invited to the Cape Cod League that summer going into my junior year, and just tried to keep doing what I was doing my sophomore year, and obviously premier talent in the Cape. Definitely a lot of guys that are playing at elite schools, playing at the next level. So I just wanted to go out there, do the best that I could, and really have some momentum for myself going into my junior year, and had a lot of success there, and was really put in a good opportunity playing for the YD Red Sox, and an experience that I can't say anything bad about the Cape. It was probably the best I've ever pitched. Really great memories from my time out there. So sophomore and junior year, we really had a good team at Stanford. Played really well to where we were hosting regionals both years. And then my junior year, a lot more confidence, knew what to expect. Wanted to put ourselves in a position at Stanford to win again. And we put ourselves in the best position once again, hosting a regional. And then that all led into the draft process. A lot of unknowns with the draft. You may try to predict where you may fall, what teams are interested, but none of that really matters. When I got to draft day, surrounded by family and friends who were watching in the Stanford clubhouse. A really special moment to share with all of them that the Kansas City Royals had picked me where they did, and were willing to take a chance on me and give me an opportunity to play at the next level, and that's all I could ask for. And from that point on, I knew that the work was going to increase and become even more intense and more competitive, but I was ready to work. After I got drafted, I went to Idaho Falls in Idaho in the Pioneer League to get my first taste of pro ball, and it wasn't as easy as some people may think. My third ever start in professional baseball, I got the first 2 outs. We were on the road in Montana. I got the first 2 outs of the game, and I gave up 6 straight hits after that, and I was pulled from the game. I didn't make it out of the first inning, and then that's when the doubt starts to creep into your head. Am I really ready for this? Am I really good enough to be at a level like this? But the thing I've learned is short memory is the best memory, and after that I knew I had some adjustments to make going forward, and that's what I focused on the rest of that year and going into the following year. So going into 2019, my first ever spring training, just trying to get the feel for things, and then obviously trying to be the best that I could. I started out in Lexington, Kentucky, playing for the Lexington Legends in the South Atlantic League, and was there for a month and a half. I got moved to Wilmington, Delaware, our high A affiliate in the Carolina League, the Wilmington Blue Rocks. Spent the rest of the year there, and another place where I found some success. Definitely an adjustment at first. Anytime you're jumping levels, there's a little bit of adjustment period, maybe for a couple weeks or a couple starts to get used to the level, get used to the hitter. And then finished out the year strong. We ended up winning a Carolina League championship, and it was a really special group that we had. But throughout the whole year, the minors is tough. You know, you're traveling late nights on bus rides, going to small towns, trying to find something to eat late at night, trying to be ready for the game the next day. And it's not maybe the most productive environment to succeed, but you got to make the most out of it and really grind through adversity and control what you can control. That's the biggest key I've taken away from my time in professional baseball, because it's not always going to be easy. You really got to find things that work for you, even in situations that may not be great, and really go from there. Finishing up 2019 and going into 2020, was fortunate enough to be invited to big league camp, spring training for the Royals, and going in, obviously playing in the lower minor leagues, wanted to show my stuff as best I could, but at the same time, wanted to be a sponge, you know, learn from the big league coaching staff, learn from veteran players, really gain some knowledge while I was there, and really soak in the whole experience. And then you go into spring training, it's a normal year, you know, you're building up, and then we get to about mid-March and pandemic starts, everything comes to a halt, and everybody's sent home. And from there, it was a little bit of a scramble, trying to stay ready, but I found some spots where I could throw off a mound twice a week to stay as fresh and sharp as I could. Found a situation where I could have some live ABs to face some hitters, and once again stay sharp, and because there was really no end in sight. We didn't know if there was a season going to be happening or not. So it was just prepare for the unknown, you know, always keep your guard up and kind of living on the edge a little bit. You don't know what the next day is going to hold, but at the same time, all you can do is control what you can control and put your head down and work. Obviously, with the unprecedented times we were dealing with throughout this whole year, we returned to play the beginning of July in what was known as summer camp or spring training 2.0, had a bunch of different names. I was a part of that group that went to Kansas City. You train in your home cities, and for about 3 weeks we built up as best and as healthy as fast as we could for the season that was going to begin kind of third week, end of July. And that was really cool. That was my first time pitching at Kauffman Stadium, our home stadium, and facing some of our big league guys and getting the feel kind of what that could potentially be like, but also making sure I came in ready and wanted to show all the work that I did throughout quarantine, and wanted to show that I was ready to compete when I got there. So I went into the season, and then crazy experience. Was blessed to be called up right at the end of July. When I got that call, or when I had that meeting, obviously called my family first, called my friends, and just wanted to share kind of the excitement, because that's something you work for your whole life. Obviously under the circumstances is a little different this year, but still a dream come true, and something that, like I said, you work your whole life for, and once it finally happens, once it comes to fruition, then you know all that work is paid off to get there, all those sacrifices, all those long early mornings and long nights paid off. But going in, made my first start against the White Sox, pretty good team, And then, yeah, just went through the whole year, had some ups and downs, but like I said, a blessing to experience, get my feet wet at the big league level a little bit, and just great to share that experience with the teammates I played with growing up, the coaches that had coached me growing up, and that was really special and something that I'll always hold in my heart. So going into the off season, obviously going through a long season, maybe not like this year, but still taxing on the body, on the mind. Take just a week or two off of just doing nothing, just to reset, come back home, see family and friends, and then after kind of that 1 or 2 week layoff, it's get back in the gym, get back in the weight room, get the body right, back in shape, and fully strong to be able to handle a full workload the following year. And for me, my mindset is, I've always been about, growing up, I always thought more was better, and trying to work as hard as I can, but obviously at this level, everybody works hard. Now it's about working smart and understanding what you need physically and mentally, and doing that. I'm not saying do the bare minimum, but at the same time, you don't need to overload your body with too many stresses, because we already live stressful lives as it is. But just getting what you need and focusing on areas that you need to focus on has been critical for me, and that starts in the weight room. And then I'll usually start throwing kind of around the holidays, maybe early December, build it back up for a few weeks, and then get the arm going, and then ready to get back off a mound after that. Outside of baseball, definitely love playing golf. I'm trying to get into golf as much as I can. Being a pitcher, you have a lot of free time sometimes during spring training and stuff like that. So golfing is an emphasis for me. Music, listen to music almost every day of the year. All types of music, rock, rap, EDM, piano, you name it. It's pretty much on my playlist. And that kind of led me into getting a guitar. Wanted to try to, especially during the quarantine, wanted to try to teach myself to play guitar. Definitely easier said than done. YouTube tutorials only take you so far, but we're making progress. Biggest pieces of advice I'd have for anyone coming up or anyone in a similar situation: work hard. I know it's cliche, but there's always someone gunning for your job. Even if you're at the top, you really gotta act like you're number two, and at that point you'll never become content, you'll never become satisfied, and you'll always strive to get better each and every day. And then my other piece of advice would be just to not give in to distractions. There's a lot of distractions nowadays with social media, and mainly related to social media, but don't worry about what other people say. Don't worry about what other people do around you, because at the end of the day, they're not going to be there holding your hand the whole time, and you got to worry about what's going to get you better each and every day, and really focus on what matters, and prioritize and sacrifice, and really focusing on blocking out all that distraction, and focusing on being a better you each and every day. Once again, this is Kris Bubic. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoy.